Today we're going to be talking about Sun's transit through Taurus. Hi, I'm Ramdas Bill Sinclair, and I hope you'll like and subscribe to this video so we can stay in touch. Today we're going to be talking about Sun transiting through Taurus. He enters Taurus on the 14th of May and he'll be there until the 14th of June, so 30 days he'll be in that sign. Now, Sun is not very comfortable when he's in signs ruled by Venus, and this is considered an enemy sign. So in general, we'll be looking out for leaders, because the Sun represents leaderships, who are appearing very stressed. They may have difficulty making decisions. They may resort to more aggressive tactics than normal, and they may even appear to be timid, and I said decision making, but also like indecisive and changeable. So these are the typical traits we see when Sun is in a weaker sign. It's the lower vibration that can be kind of the bully. There can also be health issues arise. The Sun represents our vitality, our strength, and our health in general. So when he's in a weakened sign like this, an enemy sign, it's a moderate indication. It's not, 100%. And so the typical places, people who are represented by the Sun are any kind of authority figures, fathers, so it could be any leaders in corporations or governments. So people who are really setting a standard, advising others, and making decisions about how other people are treated. Those are all indicators of the Sun. The other thing that's interesting is when we look at the chart for the moment that he comes into the sign, we see that all the planets are between the two nodes. This is called Sarpa Yoga. And what that means is that it's an intense time because all the planetary energy, instead of covering all 360 degrees, it's all hemmed in within 180 degrees. So it's like if you play a bunch of notes clustered together on a piano, it sounds a little chaotic. It's not as harmonious as when things can be in trines or things like that are more appealing, and it's just an easier flow of the energy. The other thing we see is by two types of aspects, all the planets are aspecting Taurus, which is where the Sun and Venus are seated. And so this gives, again, an indication that there's going to be a lot of activity in Taurus. So whatever house Taurus occupies in your birth chart, either from the ascendant or from the moon, you can expect that this is going to be a source of struggle and development over this next month. Another key factor this month is that you have 3 retrogrades starting, all right around the time that the Sun moves into Taurus. So you have Saturn, who begins his retrograde cycle on the 10th of May. You have Venus in the sign with the Sun, and she will begin her retrograde on May 13th. And then on the 14th, the day that the Sun enters, Jupiter will also go retrograde. For more information about all these things, you can watch a webinar I gave for the American College of Vedic Astrology, and we talk about each of these factors at length. So now I'd like to share with you an excerpt from a webinar I gave for the American College of Vedic Astrology that will go sign by sign.
So let's go through and try to give a little look at how all these factors combine sign by sign. So if your moon or lagna are in Aries, Sun will be in the 2nd house and could indicate issues with family and income. Mars in the 8th house can bring sudden financial reversal, so always have a little set aside. For Taurus, the Sun will be in the 1st house and could indicate depression, lowered vitality, or lack of motivation, all indicators of the 1st house. Mars can bring stress and drama in the work environment. For Gemini, moon or lagna, Sun will be in the 12th house, his weakest house, and can indicate poor sleep quality, especially around the eclipse, and also concerns over debts and overspending. So keep an eye on that. For if your moon or lagna are in Cancer, Sun will be in the 11th house and can delay anticipated income. There can be a tendency to spend money you don't have. Mars in the eighth can indicate a return to negative coping mechanisms. So, I mean, we have to recognize that we're living with an extra layer of stress with this whole COVID-19 thing happening and the disruption in our daily life. It's been going on for a while now. And so it's time to look at ourselves and see if we haven't checked into some of our more negative coping skills. So that could be like overeating or watching too much TV or really irregular sleep schedule. And the problem with the negative coping, what's negative about these coping mechanisms, is while we think they make us feel better, in fact, they don't. They actually dysregulate our mood even more. So, just a thought for the Cancer moons and Lagnas out there to check in on that and get back on a schedule that helps you feel better and more active and more vitalized. For Moon or Lagna in Leo, the sun is in your 10th house and can make you feel like you deserve more recognition or compensation than your current employment is able to provide. Mars in the seventh can bring impulsive behavior, especially in partnerships, career, and home life. Now, this isn't all bad because maybe you do suddenly recognize your self worth a little more. And so you may start making plans to find a better opportunity, either in your work, partnership, or, home life. Maybe you look at changing houses, who knows? But just be aware of this, that this is likely to come, and it's important to analyze it clearly because we do have three planets that are retrograding right now, which are confusing the energy. So if your moon or lagna are in Virgo, sun is in the ninth house and can make you question authority figures and traditional beliefs. Mars in the sixth can bring accidents and injuries. So just keep that in mind. I would say to people, this is not the time to go bungee jumping. I don't know if people do that anymore. So, if your moon or lagna are in Libra, sun in your eighth house will bring monetary concerns and feelings of helplessness regarding your finances. Mars in the fifth can be used to take action to remedy this situation and release the anxiety. For Scorpio moons and lagnas, sun in the seventh can bring interpersonal conflict and insecurity around your relationships. Don't allow your imagination to dwell on negative ideas. Instead, practice positive acceptance. There can be a tendency with all the retrograde and the sun being tumultuous and the whole Kalsarpa yoga thing. Scorpios can lean into a little too much paranoid thinking. Especially for Scorpios, avoid all of the conspiracy theories that are now coming out about the whole world, you know, because it won't do you any good. We can never know the truth of a conspiracy theory. That's why they never die. So it's best just to stay positive and save yourself the anxiety about these things. For Sagittarius, Moon, or Lagna, Sun in the sixth may bring conflicts and health issues to the surface. Here, the Sun's bad mood can help to resolve these issues in your favor, as long as you remain confident. So what I'm saying here is that the conflicts and health issues are going to surface. But because the sun's in a combative mood, that's actually a very good thing to have a malefic in the sixth house because it will help you marshal your resources and really go fight off the disease or set your boundaries and maintain your space if it's interpersonal conflict. If moon or lagna are in Capricorn, sun in the fifth will accentuate the creative nature of Taurus and may be a way to work through stress. Here, the natural second sign may bring great power to mantra work. Saturn in the Lagna requires hard work, so don't let the sun's lethargy sidetrack your action. Capricorns need to work. Saturn is turning retrograde. We need to work even harder. And so try to make it fun, the work that you're doing. So take time to do your mantras, do things that are creative and fun. You don't have to make it a drudge work. You can really make it a creative experience for yourself. If your moon and lagna are in Aquarius, sun in the fourth will bring thoughts of cleaning up the home, but you will have to exert a lot of effort to actually get something done. Mars in the first, use Mars in the first to start projects on a Tuesday. So this is where you have to lean into that Mars energy, which Saturn doesn't usually like to go to, and then you can have success in this area. For Pisces, Sun in the third house will bring issues with younger siblings. You can be seen as overbearing, so just be advised. Saturn in the 11th can bring overdue rewards. So let Saturn bring it to you, but especially in dealing with younger siblings, just be sure, use your Piscean nature to really read their mood before, if there's any conflict or animosity that comes up.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Please leave me any comments in the section below, and I hope that you go through this month with a little more knowledge about how to handle difficult situations that may arise. I wish you all the best. Namaste.